to hear her speak a little bit. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yay, Chelsea.
Okay, so Danielle messaged me, I think it was a couple of days ago, asking me to speak at this, and I didn't reply. I was like, I'm gonna need to think about it. And that same night, Michelle messaged me and copied and pasted the same message that Danielle sent me. And I had been talking to my mom and Ashley about it, and I was like, I think it would be a disservice if I didn't speak at it. So I'm not a public speaker. If things get weird, just ignore it, because I do that sometimes. So, when I was 12, my dad committed suicide. I didn't understand it for a long time. I thought he was selfish, and I was angry at him. I was angry at God. In the letter that he left his family, he said, make sure you tell my kids every day that I love them. And I would always question, well, why didn't you stay and tell me yourself? And I didn't understand that fully until August of this year. I was going through some things, and I broke down, and I told Ashley, I texted her, and I was like, you've been a great friend. I always feel loved when I'm with you, but I'm having suicidal thoughts. And that was my goodbye message to her. And I was done. I had literally hit rock bottom. Like, you hear people say that, but man, it was rock bottom. And Ashley texted my mom, and she said, Chelsea needs to go to the emergency room. And I remember feeling relieved, because I didn't have to be the one to tell my mom that. Ashley was being an advocate for me. And like, it was just this huge relief that somebody else was telling her for me that I needed help. So that night we drove up to Cape, and Mom walked in with me to the emergency room, and I couldn't even speak to the receptionist. I was just, I don't know if it was relieved tears or broken tears. I don't know what it was, but I leaned on the counter and I was like, I'm gonna need a minute. And Mom grabbed me to steady me, and I said, I'm suicidal, I need help. And they got me back into a room, and the whole experience was terrible. The social worker, she said that she had a professor once that told her sometimes birds fly over our heads, and we can't help that, but sometimes they make a nest, and they only worry when they make a nest in our head. And then she laughed, and she said, I'm going to tell the doctor that you're not going to kill yourself. And I was released the same night. She's actually under investigation. I got a letter about it yesterday, and I think that's a lot of the issue is nobody takes mental health seriously. And everybody's ashamed of it. Like, if you have diabetes, you say, I have diabetes. Or if you have chronic headaches, you say, I have chronic headaches. But nobody says, I'm depressed and I'm suicidal. Nobody says that. And it's so hard for us to get help. And one thing I've learned within the past month is it's so important to have people in your life that will check on you and hold you accountable, and that you can say those feelings to, because chances are nobody's going to know. 2 days before I was admitted to the psych ward, I was at Six Flags, and I was riding rides and taking pictures and having fun, and nobody knew a thing, because I didn't want them to know it. So you have to ask, like, pay attention to people's body language, and if they're acting out of character, and ask them. If it makes them feel uncomfortable, then they're going to be uncomfortable, but I would rather somebody be uncomfortable than dead. So if you're dealing with this, if you know somebody that's dealing with it, please make sure that they have people in their corner. And usually at events, the speaker asks people to stand if they're honorable. And we're already standing, but Mom and Ashley, you guys are honorable. I would not have been here today if it wasn't for both of you advocating for me and fighting for me and loving me. So thank you for that. Thank you for being honorable.
Everybody, I'm going to close this down, and then we can release the balloons. You're more than welcome to
That's
say a
love.
silent prayer, verbalize that, say happy thoughts, whatever makes you happy.
We love you, Chelsea.
Release those balloons. I just wanted to say that, we appreciate you guys being here. This is definitely something that is near and dear to our hearts, and I would say it's near and dear to yours as well, for you all to spend a little bit of your